Hey guys, so welcome to my channel. So in this video we are going to continue Python tutorial series. So let's get started. I will make a new file. Okay, so what we are going to learn today? We are going to learn about list. So what are lists? Well, in list you can store multiple values. Like suppose in previous types of variable that we have seen, like if I want to assign some value to a variable, how would I assign? It will be like this. But when you think about list, so you can store multiple variables in it. Let's see how. So creating a list. Here you can see example of list. Here in first example, what I did is I have made a list which have multiple values like 1 to 123, 23, 142, 124, like things, and it is stored in a single variable. Next, you can see is like I can not only store integers, but I can store some like strings. And in third example you can see like first two are like integers, like here 1 to 123 is integer, 44 is integer, but then hello and world, these two elements are string. And the last, this one is a boolean value. And in list we can even have something like duplicates, like here I can have 123 at first place and then 123 at second place. Well, it can be at first time very confusing, so relax, I will tell you about everything, and just you need to do is you have to keep watching my video. So how we are defining list? For defining list, you need to take a variable and then put it into a squarely bracket, and after that you have to put elements with comma separated values. Like here in between 123 and 23 there is a comma. Well, why? Because it is how it is separated in list. The values are separated by commas in list. Now, how to iterate in list? Well, what does it mean by iteration? Well, it simply means accessing elements, each elements of list. Here you can see I have a list. What I can do is I can iterate, or I can say I can access each elements of the list. How? So let's do it here. Here you can see I have accessed all the elements, or I mean some elements of the list. And how did I access? I accessed them by their place values. Like here you can see when I said print in bracket 0, so it printed 123 as value. Well, how? Why does it happen? Because in a list everything is have some place value. Like first element has 0th place value, then second element, that is 44, will have 1 as place value, then third element will have 2. Well, what does it mean? Like why it is like that? So you can access any element of this list, and you can in future do manipulation of it. Well, there are two ways to access these positional values. Like here in a forward manner, you are doing like you are going from 0 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and 4, but you can also access from backward manner, like if I want to print some like last element, so how would I print it? So here what I have did is, instead of taking positive integers, I have taken a negative one. Well, what will it print? Let's see it. Here you can see like it has printed 1.632 as value. Here at last the value is 632. Well, how? Because other than just forward iteration, there is also a backward iteration which start from last place, and from last place it starts from -1. At -1 position, then integer that we had is 632. Then we have at -2 position we have integer like 55. Then at -3 we have 123. Then we have 44 at -4, and so on. And what you can do with these positional values, like suppose I want to change this this third element, and I want to have some kind of value like 200, so I can change it. You have to just do something like, you have to point its position. Here it will be like L1 in bracket 2 and equals to, I want to do something like get a position of something like 200. Then we put it here, and now if I print the list, so you will see the difference. Here you can see that I have got 200 at third place, but actually its value was 1, 2, 3. Why? Because lists are mutable. What does it mean by mutable? It means that you can change the values of list. You can change each and every element of list according to your will. And this is very helpful when you are manipulating data and when you are storing a lot of data somewhere and you want to do frequent changes in it. So it is very handy at that time. Now we can get the length of the list. Like suppose in this given code, what I want to do is I want to get the length of this list. Like I can use the len function to get the length of the list. I have to type print then len, and it will give me the length of the list. Here you can see like I have 5 elements, so it gives me 5 as the length of the list. So it can be useful sometimes when you have a lot of elements and you are not even able to count like how many elements are there, and at that moment what you can do is you can use this len function, or sometimes it is like you don't know like how many elements will be there exactly in the list, so you can use this len function to get to know like how many elements will be there. Well, what will be the use of it? Sometimes suppose I want to do some other things, like I have some kind of like unknown list. I have L2 and I have some values. Suppose I have this list named L2 and it is a kind of list about which I don't know. Like it is something like I know that it is a list, but I don't know how many elements are there, what kind of elements are there. So I can do like for getting the number of elements in the list, I can use the len function, and I can combine with things like for loop to print all the elements. Like suppose I want to do something like for I in range, then I would use len, then l2, then I would print all the elements in the list. So what it is going to do is it is going to print each and every element of the list. Let's see. Here you can see like it has printed me every element of the list, and now I can manipulate things in it. Like suppose I want to do some kind of plus 10, like instead of printing the exact value, I want to do something like I want to print something like incremented it by 10. So this is how I can do it. Here you can see I have got values with plus 10 of every elements. Or I can do something like instead of printing it vertically, I can print it horizontally. So here you can see like I got all the elements in horizontal manner, not in vertical. What else I can do is suppose I want to do some other kind of things, like I want to have a sum of elements, like I want to just get the sum of all the elements in the list. So I can also do it with a function, but here as I am not going to cover that, I am going to use a for loop, and for that I have to first define a variable named a is equals to 0. And now after that what I will do is I will go to for loop for I in range. And finally I will print all the values, I mean the whole sum. Here I have got totals of all the elements that I have in the given list. Well, how does it happen? Well, simply what I was doing was I initialized a variable named a with value 0, and then what I was doing, like I was iterating through each element. Like I first iterated from 123 when I was 0, and then I added it to variable a, and how, like I added it as a is equals to a plus 123, which was 0 plus 123, and then the value of a became like 123. And after that what I did was it went to second, like I turned into 1, and when I turned into 1, so it was pointing to 444, and at that time the value of a was something like 123. So what it did is it simply added the value, and then a became a equals to a plus 444, and then it simply turned to be a is equals to 123 plus 444, and then it got stored in variable a. You can understand it more better if I would add another statement here, like I would add print. Now you will get to know that how it is adding step by step. Here you can see like at first time the value of a turned to be 123, then it went to something like 567, then it added 124 and it became something like 691, and then it added 55 in it, and then it turned to be 746, and so on. It reached to something like 39108. Now don't you think like this way of iteration is very complicated? Like what is this? I have to do something like a equals 0, then length of L2 and blah 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 things. So we have another ways of doing iteration. If I would do something like for I in L2, so I don't have to do any much thing, I have to just do print I, and it is also printing all the elements, and I can do all the things that I have did before, like I can print it horizontally, or I can do something like I can again get total sum of all the elements. So again I will define something like a equals to 0, and then what I will do is I will just do a plus equals to I, and then I will get the total sum. Here you can see I got the total sum. It is another way of iterating the list. So now let's move on. So you can ask user to input a list. Well, how? So there are certain kind of methods. I'm going to discuss about a method in which you use eval function. Well, how do you use it, what it is, I will show you here. Suppose I will have L1 list and I am asking user to input a list. So how would I do it? So I will eval, then input, then enter a list, then I can print L1. Now I have to enter a list. So here I have got a list L1, and here you can see like I have stored it in the variable name L1, and then I printed it back again as according to the code. And you can do all the things that I have did in this video previously, like I am iterating through each element in the list, like for I in L1, then print, and like I then end equals to. So here you can see like that's how we can take input as list from user. And that's all for today. I hope you have liked this video. Thanks for watching, and I will meet you next time.